And you cannot study the Quran unless you fulfill your duty to the Quran. The Quran is not a dead book. For example, when your child is 7 years of age, by that time the child should be reciting the whole Quran. And if your child is not reciting the whole Quran by 7, you will have to answer to Allah. And by the age of 10, your child should be reciting the whole Quran every month. I don't have the time today to teach you methodology for study of the Quran, but I have this book, Methodology for Study of the Quran, and we have it in Bahasa as well. Surah Al-Rahman has a lot to tell us about the Great War. Who will fight in the Great War? Will Allah intervene in the Great War? Who's going to win the Great War? Who will lose the Great War? I hope we'll have a little time to touch on this tonight, inshallah. And then he went on to say, Khurujul Malhama, Fathul Constantinia. He mentions a second city. There are 2 cities in Akhirul Zaman, 2, which are of paramount importance, and they are Jerusalem and Constantinople. But Jerusalem is in the grip of the Jews. They control it. So, what is the implication of Constantinople? What role does Constantinople have to play in Akhirul Zaman? If you are in the defense force, you better study this subject. What is the strategic role that Constantinople has to play in Akhirul Zaman? We already know about Jerusalem, because Dajjal wants to rule the world from Jerusalem. And when he rules the world from Jerusalem, he'll declare, Ana al-Masih. And we know that those who have eyes and yet cannot see, they will accept him as the Masih or the Messiah. And then he will rub his hands and say, mission accomplished. And it is at that time that Allah will send back Nabi Isa alayhi salam. And he will kill Dajjal. But that is not our subject tonight. What is the importance, what is the significance of the conquest of Constantinople in Akhirul Zaman? I just wrote this book. It has just been published. It's probably the first book ever written on this subject. Constantinople in the Quran, not yet translated to Bahasa. And then he said, Fathul Constantinia Khurujul Dajjal. The Dajjal cannot emerge in human form to rule the world from Jerusalem until Constantinople has been conquered after the Great War. Let us now turn to the Quran to try to understand. Let the Quran explain what is this importance of Constantinople? Who are they in Constantinople? And we have probably 3 or 4 passages of the Quran, if we have the time. And then you'll understand what the Quran has to say to explain the world today. We begin with Surah Al-Ma'idah. And there is a methodology for study of the Quran, that you never take any verse of the Quran in isolation. No, otherwise you could make a mistake. Iblis, you will say, Iblis is an angel. Yeah, Iblis is an angel. Yeah, why? The order was given to the angels. This is the mistake you will make. If you do not take the whole Quran, if you do not follow the proper methodology, you could make mistakes. So Allah speaks and He says, لَتَجِدَنَّ بَعْدَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ لَتَجِدَنَّ أَشَدَّ النَّاسِ عَدَاوَةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الْيَهُودِ. That at this time when the Quran was revealed and in time to come, you will find that those who have the greatest hatred and enmity and hostility for you will be the Jews. If you don't know the subject, go meet a man named Dr. Muhammad Mahathir. He will explain it to you. Your Prime Minister. That you will find those who have the greatest hatred and enmity and hostility for you would be the Jews. The Quran is not saying all Jews will be like that. Only the schoolboy says that. No. The Quran is speaking generally. And at that time, when the Quran was revealed, this is what happened. Yes. And today, once again, it is also happening now. Ask Dr. Mahathir. And the Quran goes on to say that at that time, when the Jews display this great hatred and hostility and enmity for you, there will be another people who will do the same thing. And there will be a people whose foundation is shirk. Shirk. Allah makes something halal, they make it haram. Everything that Allah has made halal, they make it haram. And everything that Allah has made haram, they say no. A man can marry another man and get a marriage certificate. Did you hear that? Did you? That is what Allah is speaking of. They will be waging war on you as well. So when you see war on Islam, you must understand the Quran has spoken about it. But then the Quran goes on to say that at that time, when the Jews are displaying this great hatred and enmity and hostility, waging war on Islam, in Gaza in particular, and this Western world is doing the same thing. You don't sit on the fence when you face evil. No, you stand up and you denounce it. At that time, you will find a people who will be eventually closest in love and affection for you Muslims. Who are those people? At the time when the Quran was revealed, it was Abyssinia. Abyssinia, the Negus of Abyssinia. And these will be a people who declare we are Christians. So they don't hide their religion. They are not secularized. They are proud of their religious identity. They are also a people who have the institution of the priesthood. The priest is not in jail as a pedophile. No. The priests are held in high esteem, the ulama. They play a pivotally important role in society, the priests. And they are also a people who have the institution of monasticism, the monastery, the monk. ذلك بأن منهم كسيسين ورهبانا وأنهم لا يستكبرون, and they are not an arrogant people. No. They don't want to rule the world. They don't want to force China. You must bend your knee. They don't want to force Russia. You must bend your knee. They don't want to force Iran. You must bend your knee. They don't want to force Venezuela. You must bend your knee. They don't want to force Korea. You must bend your knee before. No. These are a different Christian people. They don't want to rule the world. And these will be the closest in love and affection for you in Akhir Zaman. Now, do you understand why it is they don't want Imran Hussein to teach a lecture? They want to shut me down. Do you understand now? Because I'm bringing the Quran to the people. So who are these Christians who don't want to rule the world, who are not an arrogant people, and who will be closest in love and affection for us, this ummah? We leave this verse and we go to another one also in Surah Al-Ma'idah. And in this verse Allah gives a command. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who have faith in Allah, لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء بعضهم أولياء بعض. Allah speaks of Jews and of Christians and prohibits us from being their friends and allies. So, which Jews is he talking about? And which Christians is he talking about? You cannot divorce the first part of the ayah from the rest. Allah explains and he says, the ones that he's talking about, بَعْدُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ بَعْدُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. Let me repeat it one more time. بَعْدُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. Meaning, do not take such Jews and do not take such Christians as your friends and allies, who themselves are friends and allies of each other. Meaning, the Quran is saying that in time to come, one part of the Christian world and one part of the Jewish world are going to reconcile. And when they reconcile, they'll make friendship and alliance. And a Judeo-Christian alliance will emerge. When that happens, you are prohibited from maintaining friendship and alliance with them. You cannot sit on the fence. You are prohibited from maintaining friendship and alliance with them. You can't fly to them to play golf. Yeah? Go play golf with them. You know who I'm talking about. And Allah goes on to say, وَمَن يَتَوَلَّهُمْ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. Whosoever turns to them with friendship and going to play golf with them, you belong to them. You don't belong to us anymore. You belong to them. You do not belong to us anymore. Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawm al-zalimin. Allah does not guide wicked people. They are a wicked people. So now we know one part of the Christian world will form an alliance with Jews. It's called the Judeo-Christian Zionist Alliance. And this is what gave us modern Western civilization. The Judeo-Christian Zionist alliance is at the heart of modern Western civilization. I want to interrupt the topic now to send a message to the Darul Uloom which are producing the ulama. This is my message to them. That modern Western civilization didn't drop out of the sky. Modern Western civilization came to the world as a test and a trial for us. It was the mother of all tests and used the guidance which came from Nabi Muhammad ﷺ to understand this civilization and to respond to it authentically. And the world of Islamic scholarship has never done that. It is the living shame and disgrace of this ummah that up to today the world of Islamic scholarship appears incapable of even understanding, far less responding to the test and trial of modern Western civilization. They don't even know how to turn to the Quran to understand it. That's the pathetic state in which we live today. If I never get the chance to come back again to talk to you, I leave this message, a bitter message with you.
إلهي لست للفردوس أعلى ولا أقوى على نار الجحيم الله فهب لي التوبة